Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop, where I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem. And you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. We're going to be breaking down the upcoming slates. We've got some MLB going. NBA is still going on. We are still heavily invested in the NBA season, but it is coming to a close, so we will shift most of our focus over to the MLB side. Had a pretty decent night as far as MLB went. Of course, we went with that Tampa Bay bat stack, avoided the Shelly of the evening. I'm talking about Tanaka with his old snowflake ass. He got shelled. He got shelled, just like I thought. Just like I thought. It was horrible. It was bad. It was really bad. So we're gonna be jumping into some MLB stuff as well in this video. But first, let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 plays from last night's NBA. Now, the first play that's headlining today's feature 4 is going to be Patrick Beverly, the Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. Pat Bev went out and in 35 minutes scored 26 points, damn near triple-doubled on him, 8 rebounds and 9 assists, also knocked down 4 3-point shots and got a steal. Very solid game from him, and that is why you are tonight's Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. Now, the next play we're going to talk about is the How Did I Miss That Play tonight? And you know what? It's very funny because over the last few slates, I have been so on Paul George. Like, I have loved Paul George in so many different spots, and I kind of liked him in the spot he was in today. Based on some of Rudy Herta's perfect lineup history, we saw that Paul George was in a fairly decent spot. But I spent up in other spots and had some LeBron James, did not really full stack this game the way I should have. This game did go into overtime. 48 minutes for Paul George, 43 points, 9 boards, 9 assists, damn near triple-double on him. 6 3-pointers made, had 3 steals and a block, and it seems like everybody went off tonight. It seems like everybody went off. But how the fuck did I miss Paul George? And that's why tonight, you, Mr. George, you're the how did I miss that play tonight. And the next play we're going to talk about is going to be the heat check play tonight. And this guy comes from the same game. We know that LeBron James has said that he wants to lead the league in minutes, and he is right now tied for the league lead in minutes. 52 played tonight, 41 points, 16 boards, 11 assists, a huge triple-double. Also knocked down 3 3-point shots, had a couple steals on the block. That is why tonight, you, LeBron, salute to you. You are the heat check play of the night. And now we got to talk about this one motherfucker. Miles. This motherfucker played 47 minutes. 47 minutes. If this dude scored half a point per minute, he would have gotten more than he got tonight. 5.9K in salary. 18.75 DraftKings points is what you brought back. And that's why tonight, you, Miles, Mr. Turner, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass for the rest of the motherfucking season. How the fuck you gonna go out at 5.9K, solid price, in position, you're low on? We know the matchup ain't that great for you, but damn, homie, the game goes into overtime. You play 47 fucking minutes, and the most you can bring back is 18.25 DraftKings points. Man, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. You ran off on the plug. You dead to me. I ain't gonna roster your ass again. Snowflake ass. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking shit. Now, as we look into the player pricing as well as the point totals for tonight's 5-game NBA slate, it is starting at 7 o'clock. There is no other option. There's no way we can throw them bitches in the main, man. This slate goes from Monday to Tuesday. This is really weird, but it's gonna be we're gonna work with it. We're gonna see what it has. Let's pop it open, see what's happening. Here, right now we've got, of course, like I said, a 5-game slate that stretches from Monday over to Tuesday. So let's go ahead and take a look and see where we will be as far as the player pricing and where we can begin and to start our roster builds. Now, I imagine that this is the NBA's way of getting out of the way in order to make room for a huge opening day. We know we had 3 games MLB yesterday, but the real opening day is going to be the 12 games that we're going to see starting at 1 o'clock on the MLB slate. So we've got 1 game tonight, excuse me. It is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the and the Trailblazers. This game is going to be the only game that we're going to have on Monday night. And I kind of think I'm more inclined to believe that they're going to come out with another 4-game slate, like a little short slate that we can rock with on Tuesday as well. So if you don't even want a part of this game, that's cool. If you want to play this game, I think it's a very good opportunity to pick up some points as you head into Tuesday. This is a 217.5 point total, with the Minnesota Timberwolves giving up 2 points to the Portland Trailblazers. Of course, the Timberwolves are the home favorite. One of these teams is still playing for something, the Trailblazers. The other one isn't playing for much. So, I have no issue with, rostering a couple of guys on the Portland side. We can talk about Damian Lillard as a player that I like. CJ McCollum as well. I think he's in a very solid DVP matchup. The spot that he's in, maybe some Noah Vonleh. We can definitely take advantage of that power forward spot against the Portland Trailblazers. Off of the bench for the Portland side, the team total is high enough, 107.8, that we can look to some guys that help. Even guys coming off the bench, like Al-Farouq Aminu will probably be a solid play there. We know that we're not going to be seeing Yusuf Nurkic, so Myers Leonard will probably get the start again at center. Mo Harkless is not a player that I'm particularly interested in, and maybe some Evan Turner. I like the spot that he's in at 3.6K. That's a very solid price point on a guy that could be seeing, upwards of 20 some odd minutes. So on the Minnesota side, of course, Karl-Anthony Towns is definitely in play. And you got to ignore some of these DVPs because this is with, Plumlee. Then they're with Nurkic. Now we're going to be seeing, kind of a big hole, a big void left on the defensive spot when it comes to that Portland's front court. So I have no issue rostering some bigs in this game. We talk about Gorgui Dieng. Yes, we know that Ricky Rubio is in a very solid matchup against Damian Lillard, so I don't have an issue with him there. That's very stackable, man. You're looking at Chris Dunn at 4.2K. That's a solid price on a guy that's going to be seeing a lot of minutes there. And also, you might want to check out Shabazz Muhammad. He's down to 3K flat. I think that's a very solid price for him. Next game that we're talking about kicks off on Tuesday. It is the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Magic have been playing like they've been playing for some playoff shits or something, man. We've been seeing some really solid games from Elfrid Payton. I took him off the shelf, man. He did exactly what he had done in previous games to really drive that price up on him. So Payton at 7.9 is a player that I definitely like, most definitely considerable there. Aaron Gordon has been playing lights out. I think he's on the streak. Let's ride the wave. Let's not stop there. You can definitely target the Cleveland Cavaliers at the shooting guard position, so that would make room for Evan Turner as well as Terrence Ross. Not too much I like off of the bench for the Orlando Magic. But on the Cleveland side, man, LeBron is still priced down. 10.2, man. We just saw tonight. He had 90 fucking points. He's still priced down. 10.2, you got to give him some consideration. I like Kyrie in this matchup as well. These guys are still playing for that #1 spot, so they're going to be going out and playing hard, playing well. Love is in a spot at 7.3 that I kind of like, as well as Tristan Thompson. This is a 4-man stack here. Don't like much off of the Cleveland bench, but that's where we're going to be looking to as far as that game goes. On the Toronto and Indiana side, man, the last time this game played, it was in our best interest to just play Paul George and play DeMar DeRozan. Now, DeRozan didn't have a very good game out last time. He really didn't. And the DVP matchup is going to tell you that this is not a great spot for him. But we look at what Indiana gives up in the way of the perfect lineups, man. You can definitely rock with him, man. I like DeMar DeRozan. Of course, this is a team that is dead fucking last in giving up points to the center, or perfect lineup spots to the centers. So you can look at Jonas Valanciunas in this game. Ibaka is not a player that I particularly like, but I do like Corey Joseph at 5.4K. That's a very solid price for him, and maybe a little bit of Norman Powell or Delon Wright to kind of round out a stack for that. There's no over/under or spread yet for this game because, of course, it doesn't play until Tuesday. Same thing with the Orlando and Cleveland game. That the point totals haven't come out yet because the game is not a day out of it being in play. So on the Indiana side, man, Paul George just playing, bro. Paul George is playing very well lately. Jeff Teague is a player that I do like. No Miles Turner for me. Maybe some Thaddeus Young. I like him because we know how lazy Serge Ibaka can be on that low post. So I don't even want to go down there and play. So those would be the 3 targets I have for the Indiana side. The next game we're going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets going to Philadelphia. Man, this game has so many question marks because neither one of these teams are really playing for much. A report did come out that Brook Lopez was playing to lead the team in scoring and to be the team leader. So we know how bad the Philadelphia 76ers are against centers. We can definitely look to him. I do like Jeremy Lin in this spot. Maybe a little bit of Karis LeVert and Sean Kilpatrick off of the bench. Those are going to be my targets for the Brooklyn side. On the Philadelphia side, you got to find out who all's playing, man. Because so far we know Robert Covington, Okafor, Sergio Rodriguez, Ben Simmons, of course, has been out for quite some time. Joel Embiid has been out all year long almost. So a few guys I kind of like. I like TJ McConnell in the spot against Jeremy Lin. He is priced at 5.8. That's pretty affordable there. We got Dario Saric at 7.4. Now, he saw a minutes limit of 24 minutes the last time out. So you want to be careful and check that out. TLC, man, the price is at 5.1. That's not bad for him, especially, being that he's going to be the one seeing most of the minutes at that shooting guard spot. So we can definitely look there for him. Sauce at 4.6 is the play that I do have a moderate level of interest in. So there's a few plays in this game that are going to be fairly solid and help you make a solid return on that investment that you put into them. The last game on Tuesday, the late night hammer game, which they all start at 4 o'clock. They all start at 7 o'clock. Is the Charlotte Hornets going to Washington to take on the Wizards? We've got Kemba Walker in a solid DVP matchup going against John Wall. But the problem is he is not. I don't like to roster him away from the Beehive, bro. And for me, John Wall is an automatic play in this game. I love John Wall. I love Bradley Beal. We can definitely take advantage of Otto Porter in this spot. I think he can bounce back at 5.3. That's a very cheap price on him. Maybe a little bit of Bojan Bogdanovic as well as Kelly Oubre Jr. Those would be my targets when it comes to the Washington Wizards there. On the Charlotte Hornets side, Kemba's in play. He is in play. This team is still trying to win games. Nicholas Batum is a player that I like a little bit more than I do like Kemba. Marvin Williams is priced at 6.2. Even after that bad game, he's still going to be priced up. I don't want that. Cody Zeller can be a solid play there, and we know that we can really attack the Washington Wizards at power forward. So if you want to invest a 6.2 in Marvin Williams, I don't have a problem with it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to highlight him because I think he can have a solid game against the Washington Wizards. We like Marvin Williams. Now Frank Kaminsky. Now see, that's the rub, because at power forward, do I want to pay 6.2 in a very plus matchup for Marvin Williams, or do I want to take the same approach and attack the Wizards at that power forward spot, but just use Frank Kaminsky instead at 5.3? I think that's going to be the way that I roll in this game. I kind of like that. Jeremy Lamb at 3.4 for the bench looks like a very solid play, as does Marco Bellinelli. Both of those guys deserve consideration. So give it a day. It's only going to be one game tonight, and then we're going to roll into Tuesday, where we got the rest of the 4 games to kind of finish off this 5-game slate. And then, of course, we've got some more games coming down the stretch for the rest of the week. It's going to be a really good week of NBA. So let's go ahead and check that out. Because Tuesday, we do have 11 games total. But 4 of those games, the early ones, are going to be a part of the Monday-Tuesday slate that they have. So then on Wednesday, we've got 8 games, which is really nice, starting at 7 o'clock. Thursday, we've got 6 games, something that we can definitely deal with. Friday, 9 games. Saturday, we've got 8 games starting at 5 p.m. And then Sunday, we've got 7 games starting at 12 o'clock Eastern. So a ton of basketball left to go through. Then the playoffs start. We're going to be really getting in. My suggestion, man, if you're transitioning from NBA to MLB, just play fairly lightly. You don't have to go too hard. Just play fairly lightly. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And we're definitely going to be enjoying this MLB season. We got that stuff kicked off. We've got the MLB content should be posted up way before the first pitch goes out at 1 o'clock. So go check out the website, man. It's www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will receive all of our tips and tricks and tutelage to help you to turn you into a really profitable daily fantasy player. Before we leave, we are going to take a few quick hits looking at some of that the MLB that we do have in store for you. So we're going to take a. As you can see, we've got the all-day slate starting at 1 o'clock, 1:05 there. Those are usually smaller dollar tournaments. It's kind of hard to really get in there and mix it up and get to the money that you want. The main slate is going to be 9 o'clock. That's going to be where our focus is. And of course, we've got a 3-game turbo, 4-game afternoon, and you can make lineups in these and actually throw them bitches in the main. You can definitely do that. No, it is still the same strategy. You can make lineups here and you can throw them bitches in the main. The only issue is, you want make sure you want to have ace pitching in these 3-game turbos and the 4-game afternoon. And we've talked in previous sessions about the importance of pitching and how, if I could tell you to spare no expense anywhere in your lineup, it is going to be for the pitching. In some spots you can almost pay all the way up for a guy like Clayton Kershaw, and then find a bottom feeder that you can use at the bottom to kind of justify paying up that much for pitcher. But a lot of us, a lot of people, you know. They go fairly balanced. And on a large hit like this, you definitely can do that. Now, me, I'm going to be paying up for pitching tomorrow. I like Noah Syndergaard against the Atlanta Braves. I do like Clayton Kershaw. I think he's in a very good spot. Verlander. Now, this game, we've got to be careful because this game is probably like a 90% chance of rain. This game could get rained out. Strasburg. Now, the only thing about Strasburg, see, the price is very cheap on him, and that is because he is facing one of the better hitting teams in the league. The Miami Marlins, they tear the cover off of the ball. Those guys can play small ball. They can hit the power, whatever the situation might call for. Those guys are very good at hitting the ball. And then once they get on base, they are really good at stealing bags too. You're talking about guys like D. Gordon, Real Muto. So there's a few guys that you could target if you wanted to be totally contrarian and try to hit Steven Strasburg. Rick Porcello, not a big power speed pitcher, but a guy that's very crafty at the mound. Can throw some really, really great off-speed stuff, and you're going to see that a lot. And that's why he's one of my favorite plays at pitching on the slate for tomorrow. I do like him. I like him a lot. We can look down and see. What we have to do is when we go into our stacks, because the basis, I don't care, the basics of every great lineup, whether it's a cash lineup or a GPP lineup, is going to be some sort of correlation, some sort of stack. And the way we can find that out definitely is to just check out some of the pitching and see where these guys stack up amongst the rest of the pitchers. So you look at and the park does matter. You look at some of these places where we're going to be playing. Like you look at John Gray pitching for the Colorado Rockies, going to Milwaukee. This is a very hitter-friendly park on both sides as well. I mean, I'm not scared of I'm not scared of Junior Guerrero either. So I mean, I would stack both of these guys. I mean, I wouldn't even have to do like a straight stack of first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have to do that. I could stack a couple of players from the Milwaukee side, a couple of players from the Colorado side, whatever is most cost effective, so I still can pay up for some pitching and still field a roster that I really do like. So we want to find that Jack Bat, man. That guy's gonna go out and gonna tear the cover off the ball, man. We're gonna try to find that guy that's gonna go out and hit that home run, right? So you check it out. We've got Mookie Betts, man, awesome player. He's the highest price cat when it comes to those power hitters. You got Bryce Harper, Charlie Blackmon, who's going to be in a very hitter-friendly park in Milwaukee. I mean, excuse me, in Miller Park in Milwaukee. You've got Sterling Marte. Be facing Porcello. Trey Turner's a guy that can steal bags. We like him. Carlos Gonzalez is not a player that I really like. Ryan Braun, very hitter-friendly park again. Faced up against Gray. That's a good one. Jose Bautista, one of my favorite hitters for tomorrow. And a lot of people are very scared to roster pitchers in Camden Yards with these Baltimore guys, man. But them cats strike the fuck out. Them cats strike out a lot, and that's why it's really good. It's a really good strategy to find out of the pitchers on the slate who has the highest strikeout upside, who has been striking cats out, who can go out and who has already last season got over 200 strikeouts and is rolling into this season. So there's definitely ways that we can look. And somebody that jumps out to me automatically is Syndergaard. Really, really solid strikeout pitcher, man. 6.85 strikeouts per game. We've got, of course, Clayton Kershaw, 6.51 strikeouts per game. Hugh Darvish, 6.3 strikeouts per game. So there's some really good K upside in some of the top level pitchers. You're more than welcome to go and try to find value with some of the less expensive pitchers. But I can tell you, man, you don't want to spare any expense on your pitcher, especially if you're playing over on FanDuel, because you only get one shot on FanDuel to really nail down your pitching. Now, Jose Quintana is going to be one of my favorite pitchers to go after tomorrow because he's going to be faced up in a lot of spots against Miguel Cabrera as well as Victor Martinez. Both really, really solid hitters, can hit for power most definitely. As you can see, Miguel hit 38 home runs last year with a .316 batting average, 108 RBIs. Very solid season for him so far. and he's actually played very well against Quintana. Yeah, he's got a 349 batting average with a 440 on base percentage. Also hit 2 home runs against him, so I don't have any issue with rostering Miguel Cabrera against Quintana. Then we've got Ian Kinsler as well as Vic Martinez. That would be a really solid stack, I think. Kind of contrarian too, because a lot of people will not want to test Quintana, but I think in this spot, man, these guys are really primed. It's opening day, real opening day. I don't see these guys having any trouble getting on base, getting some hits, and really kind of running it up the score a little bit on Quintana. So I'm all good with rostering some Detroit guys. I think Daniel Murphy is in a good spot too. Batting left-handed against Volquez, who's a right-handed pitcher. 391 against him is the batting average, also with a 481 on base percentage. So I like him in the spot too. He hasn't taken him deep, but he has been able to hit him. So I think that Daniel Murphy is in a really good spot as well. And Manny Machado is going to be a guy who I think is going to be quite popular just because of the fact, he's such a monster hitter. Like the average isn't as great as you would like it to be. 293, that's not horrible. He did hit 37 homers, had 96 RBIs. And I can tell you, a couple of guys on this team like led the league in fucking strikeouts. The Baltimore bats are fucking, they swing for the fences or they strike the fuck out. So, and that's why I kind of like the pitching in this game. I think that Estrada can be a very solid pitching prospect to get a lot of strikeouts as well as get those outs and get these guys off the, because if they're not hitting home runs, scoring 8, 9, 10 runs in some cases, then they're just horrible. How many times have you waited around for Manny Machado's next home run, and then you play him and you don't play him and then he hits it, and then till you play him again, he doesn't hit it. Like these teams, they're like home run hitters, like all of them. They all just try to hit home runs. There's no small ball. So in some spots, I like to attack them as a batting staff. I like to attack their order, especially if I got a heady, crafty pitcher. It doesn't have to have a huge fastball to just blow by them, because that's not what they miss. They hit fastballs. Any thinker's pitch is what they strike out on. But they hit the fuck out of fastballs. So a lot of people are going to be on Manny Machado. They're going to be on a lot of other guys from this batting order. But me personally, I think I'm going to go the other way as a contrarian play and maybe give some love to Estrada in this spot. And because against Estrada, I mean, he hasn't had a ton of success. I'm talking and what was it? 18 at bats. He got 2 hits. One was a single, one was a home run. He walked him 6 times and struck him out twice. So he hasn't had a ton of success against Estrada anyway, and that's why I'm going to be going in that direction. Now, in summary, today's MLB slate is going to be really good, starting off at 1 o'clock. There are a few pitchers that I really like. On the website, we're going to have, some statistics, advanced stuff that we've come up with to really help us out. I want to make it simple for you all, man, because it's so easy in MLB to get lost in all of the statistics when there are only a few of them that really, really matter. We found out what those were, and we really put those to the forefront for you, so you can give you just a really solid spot, a chance to go ahead and cash out, man, because that's what the larger sites do. They throw all these different, the data and WOBA and blah, 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 and da, da, da. They throw all these different stats at you, to confuse you and kind of fuck you up. Like, they make up stats to give you. And it's very simple, man. What you want in your roster builds, you got to look at it like building a house, bro. Like, the stuff you're going to need to build a house. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need nails. To make your roster, you're going to need a pitcher. You're going to need a batter. You're gonna need this guy. You know what you're gonna need. But the key to building a house, just like the key to building a very good DraftKings or FanDuel roster, is having that blueprint. And that's what we've already created for you. We've got a blueprint set in place for you that if you stick to it, man, I can assure you, you're gonna be a profitable, daily fantasy player, man. I can tell you, it worked in basketball, it works in football, and it works in baseball. It's the same thing. You stick to a core of plays, and we help you to gather those cores of plays, and I even show you mine, so that you can look at it and say, hey, man, this is an honest guy. The guys he's talking about are actually the guys he's playing. So go hit up the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. We have been working around the clock to get this content out to you. It's going to be there on the website as well as in the Facebook VIP. Shout out to everybody in the VIP still hanging on in there, man. I will be doing a midday mix on Tuesday. We're going to be breaking down that 11-game slate. So y'all come on in, check me out. It's going to be around 3:30. I'll be, of course, answering questions all day long, man. Hit me up on Twitter, man. DFS Sweatshop, excuse me, DFS Jerusalem is the Twitter. At the DFS Sweatshop, go ahead, hit me up, and we can jump into it like that. Now, one more thing, and I can't impress this upon you enough. Take a deep breath, man. It's MLB, DFS. It's not rocket science, bro. The people that try to make it like that, like, okay, like let's talk about this. Okay, so the last video I did, the intro video, welcome video. So I already know what the fuck I'm doing. I've been doing this long enough. So I say, hey, stack Tampa Bay bats. That's the way. And Tanaka. Because right now we're up against a bunch of like nerds that had been watching a ton of spring training. And bro, spring training don't mean shit. I don't give a fuck how many dudes telling me, oh, during spring training, he had 10. I don't give a fuck about spring training. They don't even give a fuck about spring training. I watch it, but you got to know what you're watching for. I'm not watching for to find out what new ace pitcher is going to come. That's not what you watch spring training for. That's you want to make sure people are crisp and healthy. That's what you want. The next big thing doesn't come from spring training. Spring training doesn't really tell you a ton. What happened last year tells you more about MLB, and that's why we get into one of the biggest statistics that we get into, man. And I can tell you about this, man. Fuck it, I can tell you about this. The biggest statistic that we get into is the actual one-on-one matchup. What this pitcher did against this batter. What this batter did against this pitcher. Because the data is there, and it's easily compiled, and we get it, and then we look at that. Because honestly, you know, batting percentages and, you know, home run percentages and, you know, everything that the pitchers do, the ERAs, like those are very important, and those are very telling, because what a guy normally has done against a guy is what he's normally going to do. So that's one of the key features in the calculations that we come up with, is that we look, we find those spots where, well, what did this batter do against this specific pitcher? You know, and that's a very, very key thing. Then we examine the ballparks, of course, to see, you know, if this is going to be a hitter-friendly situation or a pitcher-friendly situation. It's very simple, man. There's a few key elements that go into it. And if you are in the sweatshop, man, I got you covered, bro. I have done the research already for you. And I'm going to be bringing it to you. So, you know, take a deep breath, man. It's just MLB DFS. It's another sport. Stop thinking so much about plays. I got into it with this guy. He's talking about plays, names, players, names. Man, do you realize this shit is advanced numerology? Fuck the players. It's not about the players. Do you think when an optimizer spits out lineups, it has to choose between LeBron James and Paul George, and it says, well, wait a minute. The numbers say that Paul George is in a better spot, but this is LeBron James, so then he will move. No, they don't do that. That's why they make them, because they take away that human element and just leave it straight up to the numbers, which is good. Now you may need that human element in some spots. I'm not gonna, you know, poo-poo that. But what I'm saying is, bro, don't get stuck on the names. Do not get stuck on the names. Look at the numbers, man. Baseball is a sport where you can lean so heavily on the numbers, because what a guy has done is what he's probably gonna do. What a guy has done is what he's probably gonna do. The homie, the bat jack play. The guy, I was like, yo, this is the bat jack play tonight. It's Longoria. Okay, well he's hit an opening day home run quite a few times. He did it again today. You know what I'm saying? So it's very simple. It's very easy, man. And I'm here for you. I'm here with you. I will show you the way. And I don't have to be, you know, some MLB savant. That's why we have a group of 1,200 members that are willing to day in and day out 24/7 help and hold your hand through the process and make sure you know everything you need to know. That's why we have that. I'm not the smartest man in the fucking world. I just figured out the blueprint. And we got cats in the sweatshop doing the same thing. So if you are looking for a DFS home, man, it's a very long MLB season, man. Fuck with us, stick with us. Come on and join us. Go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where you can become a part of the very best group online. Thank you so much, man. If you want to support the show, a few ways you can do that. Number one, you can hit my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. Also, if you want to be a member of the sweatshop, I already told you how you can do that. Hit the website up. And we will be doing a few t-shirt giveaways fairly soon to the YouTube guys. So, man, y'all keep on watching the show. Keep on supporting me. Hit that like. And for you punk-ass snowflake motherfuckers, the three of y'all, who be getting together just to dislike my videos and the help that I'm trying to give people. Y'all some motherfucking snowflakes. Y'all snowflake gas. Let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking slate. Let's get this money. Keep it 300.